pens. You got enough pens?
Yeah.
We've begun. This is episode 205. 205. We're on YouTube, if you're listening.
105, yeah, in your bra.
For this, you will pay terrible price.
Sorry. Spoiled your intro.
That's all right.
Derailed.
It's ruined now. Oh, it's derailing coming up, actually. Yeah, episode 205. We're on YouTube. If you're just listening to us and you want to see our faces for some destructive reason, we're on YouTube pulling teeth. If you want to give us a like and a subscribe, it'd be lovely and appreciated. And we've got an Amazon banner. If you shop at Amazon, you want to buy anything from Amazon, if you go to our website first, www.pullingteethpodcast.com, and then click on the Amazon banner, it'll take you to Amazon. And then if you buy anything, we get a commission kind of thing. So we're just trying it out, seeing what it's like. If you want to support us for free, it's a good way to do it. Oh, nice short intro then.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the intro done.
205.
205.
In it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The hell is that?
What?
You got like lemon juice for cameras or something.
Oh, that. It's a fret oil thing.
Oh, for God's sake.
For when you change the strings to get all the dust, and it says, what do they call it?
You don't just use cranberry juice.
Speed. No.
Cranberry juice would work, wouldn't it?
No.
Might do. Get a lovely cranberry stain on it.
I don't want that.
I don't know. We had a big talk yesterday about you.
Well, just to see where we're at with that situation.
Yeah.
My guitar is fine. Your guitar is fucked.
That's because I was too good. No, what happened? I think a sandwich fell on it.
Massive sandwich.
Yeah, and then just the bridge just came up because the wood splintered.
Right.
I think
to be fair, I had to send one of mine back because the body bowed. They call it like bellying or something. Is where the strings are just like they just pull the wood too much and it just gives it like a weird belly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I still haven't got that fixed. Need to get it fixed, really. But I feel weird posting my guitar.
Posting it? Oh, so like sending it off somewhere?
Yeah, like I'd like to take it to a shop, but all the shop owners I know, I don't like. I'll put it that way.
They'd probably be like, nah.
Well, no, one of them said they were magic.
All right.
So maybe they'll be able to fix
There's
it.
a guy I went to in Crewe to get mine set up. He's really good.
That's all right. I can give him a try. But yeah, how get guitars? Oh, your weird lemon oil.
Lemon oil, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, had a big chat about you, didn't we, yesterday? I've been thinking about it, yeah.
All right.
Kiwi Steve.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realise... Well, I'm trying to figure this out because this is a genuine thing for me.
Yeah.
I can't eat blueberries. Especially in the portions that you report to be eating blueberries.
I weigh my food because I count my calories. I watch what I eat. I look after myself. Yeah. Sorry if that's a foreign concept to you, Mr. Diabetes.
Why are you doing calories? Because calories are irrelevant.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay. Calories are irrelevant. If you've removed all your calories.
The only thing that matters as far as weight loss is concerned is calories in versus calories out.
No.
That is it.
No, it's not.
That is it.
It's not.
It is. It is. You can break it down into macros, and it's like, yeah, on a base level, like a calorie isn't necessarily a calorie depending on what you're eating. But to the majority of people, particularly people who are fucking morbidly obese, they could keep eating the same trash that they're eating as long as they only ate less of it. They would lose weight.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with calories, though.
What do you mean?
Well, what's a calorie?
It's a unit of energy.
Right, and where does that energy come from?
Food.
More specifically, something like carbohydrates, something like fats, something like that.
Yeah, it's split into carbs, fats, and protein.
So if you're saying calories, you could probably just say food. And I would agree with food.
Right.
If you eat more food than you burn the energy of that food.
Correct.
It makes sense. But calories are just a weird measurement. It's a weird thing that's kind of doesn't really make any sense in my experience anyway.
Does this count as gym talk?
No, this is calorie talk.
Okay, fair enough.
And you brought it up because you can measure your calories.
Yeah.
I'm all for measuring your food. Oh, yeah.
It's science.
Sure.
Yep.
But it's the same way science is that badminton is an Olympic sport, isn't it? It's kind of like, sure.
Sorry to all the professional badminton players out there.
You got gold in badminton. You could fuck off.
Playing your floaty tennis.
Yeah. No, in the main sense, I do agree. Obviously, the more you eat, if you eat more than you use, you will store it somewhere.
Yes.
But calories is always just a really weird one for me.
Some things are like some forms of food are more accessible to your body. That's why the whole a calorie isn't necessarily a calorie thing.
What's the whole calorie argument, isn't it? It's like you burn more calories eating celery. So you can eat 50 tons worth of celery
and you'll die.
Well, you won't die, but you'll become celery. Whether that's through osmosis, through your corpse.
I had this discussion with someone because not about that, but it was about weed. It's like you said,
eat more weed than you excrete.
What about overdosing? And I said, like, in order to overdose on THC, like from weed, you'd have to eat a bale of weed, like a straw bale. If you eat a bale of anything, you'll die. I'm pretty sure.
Bale of water?
Yeah. You can't eat that much water. You technically drown.
Like a hay bale that you see rolled up in the field.
Yep. You'd have to eat that much weed.
I'd say that's over 100 litres.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. But I'm thinking about it in Evian bottles.
So a cubic metre is 1,000 litres. So it's 1 metre by 1 metre by 1 metre.
I bet I could drink 1,000 litres.
You're massive.
So, that's why I can't eat blueberries.
Really?
It's a real thing.
So strange.
It is, but it's the same reason I've got all these other issues in it. But I think I've realised it on the way here.
Yeah.
And I think it coincidentally ties in with a lot of other ethoses that make sense.
I have to break the stream and go and let my wife into the house. Just talk about
yourselves. Has she been a good behaviour? You're allowed in the house now. Break the stream. And cross the streams. Bees. Bees.
Yeah, so blueberries, you're weird.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just seeing how many calories are in sweat.
Why?
Because I reckon you probably consume sweat on an unknown basis. There's no calories in water, but sweat's not water, is it? It doesn't rain sweat.
No, well, you actually excrete most when you're losing weight. You excrete most of it weirdly through your breath, which I found really odd.
Yeah, and then as you breathe out, you also breathe in, right? So it'll just go up your nose. I don't know, it's been stupid. But the calorie thing is a weird thing about same as like weight.
Yeah.
BMI, right?
Right.
BMI is science. There's science behind BMI, but it's nonsense. As in, it's like you should use other more comprehensive measures to measure it.
What is the most helpful to the most people?
Amount of food.
Which is calories.
No, portion size.
Which amounts to calories.
You said what's the simplest?
Yeah.
Portion size is easier to measure than calories.
No, but like 100 grams of one thing isn't worth 100 grams of another thing. You have to know what that is worth.
I understand, but your question was what's simpler for people, and the answer is portion size.
But portion size won't affect you.
Yes, it will.
If you
eat much larger
plate full
portions
of chips compared to a plate full of salad, that's the same portion size.
If you eat 50 celeries as opposed to 50 cakes.
So how do you know how that's going to affect you without knowing what the calories are?
You want to make it more complicated, then yes, add numbers. If you're going to make it more accurate, I'd say use more nutritional information as opposed to... Same as BMI, you know what I mean?
No,
I'm sorry to wreck your world.
No. BMI is a flawed science. Calories in, calories out is not.
All right, well, how many calories should you be consuming?
Depends on your metabolism.
Yeah,
but
so it's
for
flawed,
the majority of...
No.
No. For the majority of people...
Same way BMI is, it depends on your height and weight and stuff like that.
No, because your your BMI is pointless. Your BMI doesn't take into account bone density, muscle density. It doesn't even take into account your fucking gender. BMI is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, calories in, calories out, you can determine a rough estimate of how much you should be eating based on your lifestyle, based on your height and weight right now, based on your age and gender. And I'm not
arguing against... food, right? Food is important. You should eat food. You should eat as much food as you burn,
right?
If you want to maintain. If you're looking to see what you require, you don't require calories because there's calories in fudge. You can eat your day's worth of calories in fudge every day and you'll be fine.
Yes.
Obviously, in that example, calories are completely irrelevant because there's good calories, there's bad calories.
Right, but no.
You shouldn't base your meals around how many calories you should intake.
It should be a part of it. Because
a
the
side
fact
effect
is,
of it.
No,
because
the fact
that's going
is
to
you
come
could-
from carbohydrates.
Let's say you worked out that you needed 1,500 calories a day, and that's like your baseline. And it's a
You
bit
can have
low,
like 3 pieces of fudge, right?
but it'd be a lot more than that. But
3 big pieces of fudge.
But you could eat that 1,500 calories in fudge, or you could eat it in fucking lettuce and chicken. You would still lose weight. It's not good for you, but you would still lose weight based on the amount of calories you've consumed.
Based on no, because you're consuming the same amount of calories whether
Yes.
you eat 3 big pieces of fudge,
Right,
or
you are
loads of
losing
chicken.
weight because you've eaten less calories than you need.
And you'll probably have kidney failure. Something
Probably,
like that.
yeah. It's not good for you.
No,
but
to make it better for you, you should take into account other nutritional information.
100%. Yeah, no.
So
but-
kind of calories is kind of irrelevant.
no,
No.
this is stupid.
The thing is, this happens in a lot of things. We're in complete agreement. It's just you don't like that I'm saying that calories are less important than nutrition.
No, I don't like that you're saying calories are irrelevant.
Yeah, they are irrelevant. Yeah.
They're not. That's ridiculous.
Okay, well then, if you were going to base your diet on calories, you
Right.
could make a calorie-based diet that includes only fudge.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think that's a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah, and I think
you
that
could
that's
do
kind
it.
of
If we're
not a
just
relevant
talking
diet.
if we're just talking about losing weight, you absolutely could do that. You shouldn't,
No.
but you could. Because the basis of losing weight is purely based on how much you expend compared to how much you intake.
We're in complete agreement, Steve. Look, where do calories come from? Calories come from nutritional elements, right?
Yep.
Like carbohydrates, fats, oils, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
All I'm saying is you should look at that, and you're saying, no,
No,
we
no,
should
no.
look at calories.
No.
And I'm saying the calories are irrelevant. In fact, the calories are a side effect of the nutritional information.
You
so
should
why not look at the nutritional
take into
information?
account nutritional information.
Yes,
but
always.
if let's say every meal that you have is perfectly balanced, made of perfectly good food, because I had this, I didn't put on weight because I eat crap all the time. I put on weight because I eat too much.
Yeah, that portion size must have been like the
Right,
the wrong
and how do you
portion
measure
size.
portion size?
By the size of the portion.
But this doesn't make any sense. That's
Well, there's lots of different ways to manage how much you consume, right?
Right.
There's loads of different ways. Like the number one is like don't eat too fast because it takes a while for your body to realize that it's consumed enough food.
yeah, it's
So if
like
you're
20
eating a
minutes
meal-
for like this hormone or
Yeah, so have a
something
small
to kick in.
meal.
Yeah.
Then 20 minutes later, if you're still
feel-
hungry,
yeah.
you can have some more food because your
Yeah.
body needs more food. But so this is why it's a weird discussion, is because I try and think of something. They're somewhat in parallel, but the calories have much more lies in them. Like you can have a fudge-based diet, and it'd be like, but you're not having these elements. Yeah, but it's calories, right? And calories are more relevant than nutrition. You go, no. The nutrition is more relevant than the calories, and in fact, if you were to just look at the nutrition, you'd have a much better understanding of what food you were eating and what you would need. If you based it purely off of calories, you'd be in a minefield and it wouldn't make any sense.
I agree, but I still believe calories is the best starting point. I don't
So-
believe anyone's going to lose weight without an understanding of that.
I think it's portion size.
Right, but we're talking about the same thing. It's just you're referring to it differently.
No, because the portion size has nothing to do with the calories.
So if you have a smaller portion of something, there's the same amount of calories in it as if you had a bigger portion.
No, I'm saying in terms of controlling your diet,
Yes.
by controlling the portion size as opposed to weighing, measuring, researching all
same
the food.
thing.
Looking at a plate of food is different to reading all the ingredients and weighing all the ingredients. Would you agree?
Well, yeah. One
Okay.
is much
One
more
is simpler.
accurate.
One is much simpler. Yeah?
Simpler and less accurate. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're asking for the simplest solution, I argue that the simpler solution is not Googling, not researching, not weighing, is basing it on portion size. So that would be the best place to start.
So just reduce your portions and fuck what's in it.
No. Nutritional information, not calories. I don't know. Calories are, yeah. Go ahead and believe in calories. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind.
It's not false.
It is false. I'm saying why it's false because it's the calories are like the rough estimation of the carbohydrates, the fats, the oils, all those kinds of things. It's a rough guesstimation. Like BMI is a rough guesstimation of whether you're overweight or not. It's not accurate. It's something to go by, but it's not the relevant data. If you just eat based on calories,
There's
you're not
nothing
going to have a
about
good idea.
calories that is a rough estimate.
Yes, there is.
What is it? How is it?
How are calories calculated?
Calories are calculated by taking whatever it is that you are.
Whatever it is being the rough estimate.
No.
As in whatever expected calories you might.
As in like whatever is it that you're eating,
oils,
rice or like whatever. Taking it into a lab, and it's a measurement of the amount of energy that's expended from that food when it's burnt. That is what a calorie is.
Yeah, and that's based off of the nutritional information, right?
It's based off of whatever the fuck was in the packet that you burnt.
So the nutritional value within the packet.
Correct.
So like I say, we're saying the same thing. It's just I'm saying you'd have a better diet and a better aim at losing weight if you were to control the nutritional elements that you were going to consume rather than the fuel number, the diesel number. And if you were looking for the simplest way to do that, don't bother looking at calories. Only eat what you're hungry for. Don't overeat.
All right. Well, we're not going to get anywhere because I completely disagree.
But you don't. We completely agree. It's just a terminology argument. It's just you like looking. You're working in metric and
I like
the other
being
one.
analytical. You like
I
being
like being
analytical.
more analytical because I'm looking at more data, nutritional data, how much carbohydrates, how many oils, how many vitamins, all those things. More analysis of the data, and you're looking for the number on the package.
I'm looking for what is accurate based on what I actually require.
But that accuracy is based on the analytical data that I'm interested in. I'm interested in the more analysis of it. You're interested in the end result, simpler example.
I don't...
They're the same thing! You just believe that calories are the thing.
It's not
and that's
a belief.
Fine. It is. You obviously believe in it because they're both the same thing.
I don't disregard as like nutritional information as like a fad or a false science or anything. It goes along with it.
But does it not make sense that if you had a purely based calorific diet, would that be the right thing to do?
If you had a
diet based purely on calories, would that be the right thing to do? The healthy thing to do?
No, it wouldn't be the right thing to do one or the other.
It wouldn't be right thing to do it with calories or without calories?
No.
You said one or the other.
To base purely on portion size if you're eating the wrong thing.
Okay, so how much percentage should you base your diet on based on calories?
Cut it 50-50. Like, I mean, I measure calories and macros.
So you bet 50% calories and 50% nutritional information?
Well, but they're working in conjunction.
The same thing.
Working in conjunction, but saying they're the same thing is different than saying they don't matter. It's a belief. It's a false science or whatever.
I'm not saying it's a false science. I'm saying it's irrelevant. It's data used by people who use the same data, like BMI. It's like, it makes sense because if you're a certain height, you should weigh a certain amount because of basic science.
No, BMI is flawed. Like, I mean, calories could be abused or flawed in the sense that if you shouldn't just be eating 2,000 calories worth of fudge. I agree with that. Like, nutritional information should work in conjunction with it. But the idea of calories in, calories out not working is false. Like, that is...
And that's not what I'm saying. Right. I'm saying that because all you're saying is food in versus food out.
Yeah.
Right? We're in complete agreement.
Food in versus energy out. But
sure, whatever expenditure, burning of that food.
Yeah.
Now, you can measure it in metric or you can measure it in the other one. I can't remember what the other one's called. Imperial.
Yeah.
That's all we're talking about here is imperial versus metric.
Right.
And I'm saying that the calorie system is overly simplified and isn't as helpful because there's lots of flaws, such as, well, you could just eat so much fudge. Just as if you're BMI, you can be a certain height and you can be overweight or you can be underweight, and there's not enough data taken into consideration. It's the same for calories.
I disagree with it being compared to BMI because BMI is utter horseshit. Like, BMI
it's
is
healthy
a
for the
flawed
average
science.
people, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Because no, if you're...
For some people, it's beneficial for a standard of people to be like, if you're this height, you should aim to weigh this much. There are exceptions, but as a baseline for the average person.
There's a very broad spectrum, but there's the amount of people that I know that are in perfectly good shape and say my BMI says I'm obese.
Yeah.
And that's across the board for men and women because it's a thoroughly stupid way of measuring people.
And there's also people who die because they consume calories instead of nutrition.
There are people who die from having terrible diets.
Terrible diets that are based on calories, yeah.
Right. And there are people who
my argument
eating perfectly the right kind of food, but they just eat they just eat too much or too little of it.
Yes. So we're in complete agreement. There's flawed systems. It's just imperial versus metric, and it's just, I think you've got calorie in your head, and that's fine.
I've just got what works for me in my head.
But it's the same thing. So this is episode 205.
I can't do this.
It's just metric versus imperial, and if you were to do the nutritional data, you'd have better results, purely because there's more information, it's more accurate, and it's more analytical. There's just more data to look at, rather than if I eat 200 and I expend 200, then that's fine.
Okay, so if I just look at nutritional information and I say I need, let's say I'm trying to build muscle, so I need quite an inordinate amount of protein. Let's say I need like 120 grams of protein a day, which for someone my size is a fair amount.
Yeah, and not argue too much, but yeah.
Yeah. But it's stupid. But like let's say I'm aiming for that. I want 120 grams of protein. I want 200 grams of carbs, and I want 50 grams of fat. What however I'm going to work it. Is it so? No matter how I get that amount of that kind of like amount of like macronutrients like that, is going to amount to different portion sizes depending on what I'm eating, isn't it?
Depending on how many grams of protein, how many grams of carbohydrates you want.
Yeah, but it's possible to eat that within my regular kind of intake. It's possible for me to kind of have that with a like 2,200 calorie day, and it's also possible for me to have that exact same amount of macronutrients in a 3,500 calorie day. One is going to make me gain weight, one is going to make me lose weight. Why are calories not important?
Because the assumption you've made is that you're, as well as eating healthily and measuring your carbs and protein and stuff like that, you're also the assumption you're making is if you're going to have 120 grams of protein, well, if you had 500 grams of protein, you'd also have 120 grams of protein. You're like, if you're working for 120, how can you have a daily plan of X amount of all these nutrients and somehow go above that? What is in food that isn't nutrients that contributes to calories?
I don't know.
Like it's one of these arguments that it's just your terminology is different to my terminology.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
We just work it in different ways.
Yeah, and it's just when you present it as you're being more analytical and looking at more data, when the reverse is true, and I just suggest that, it becomes like, no, because I'm being more analytical because of calories.
I don't think the reverse is true. I just think it's two different methods.
So, yeah, but you said that you're more analytical about the data and the food that you're eating because you're looking at calories.
I look at both.
Right. If you looked at the nutritional value more so, there would be more data.
Oh, but no. I do look at the nutritional value, though.
Okay, but you look at both, so which do you side with? If you're going to side with more calories or less calories or more nutrients or less nutrients?
If I'm trying to lose weight, first and foremost, I side with calories.
Right. And I would say you would have more information if you looked into more accurately looking at nutritional values.
Okay. So, again, I think purely based on weight loss, that doesn't make sense.
Because you believe that weight loss is based off of calories.
Weight loss is based off of calories.
So you believe that weight loss is based off of calories. It's an absolute truth for you that, it has to be calories. Calories is the deal. If you eat less calories than you burn, you will lose weight, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm saying I disagree with that statement.
Okay, fair enough.
Because of science, but hey, it's fine.
You can add your jibe at the end. I mean, you're wrong, but okay.
The jibe? No,
because of science.
Let's have a look. Yeah, because of science.
I don't want this conversation.
You brought it. They say if you eat too many blueberries, you start to believe in the metric system, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hate blueberries, basically, how it comes down to.
Have you had them recently, or is this one of those egg things where you decided when you were 4 and you're just like, no, it's not for me?
No, it's just the size. It's the calories. It's just the size of a blueberry. It's not meant to be. I can't. There's a psychological thing within me that I've meant a lot of times.
I do think it's a size thing with you, because I said, like, I eat kiwis and I use a teaspoon. You're like, a teaspoon?
It's ridiculous. Do you not think?
No, because, well, the thing, like, it's... There's
how many calories in a teaspoon?
There's a couple of different things you could do. Like, because I used to peel them and then just eat them like an apple. like which makes sense, but then it just takes more time. Whereas if you just cut them open and just scoop the flesh out with a spoon, it's easier. But if you use a big spoon, you wreck the thing.
I've never used a teaspoon in my life, and I never will.
You sure? Can you guarantee that statement that you've never used a teaspoon?
I've never knowingly used a teaspoon.
Right. Okay. Good. Because in this slide, you'll see.
This is you in Croatia with a teaspoon. What's going on? No, it's the same exact belief of I can't make my bed without a machete.
Yeah.
Right. It's this thing of, and there's genuinely this feeling of demons outside. That's like if you eat a blueberry, you have to open yourself up so emotionally vulnerably in order to delicately like pick a blueberry like that and then eat it, believing it's some sort of sustenance. If any of the demons saw that, they'd know you had weakness. You always have to be on a state of alert, and you always have to. It's not enough sustenance within a blueberry. So if there was a giant apple-sized blueberry, that would be fine.
You're on. Right.
But something so small like that is just like, yeah, it's just you'd have to eat it. Like you'd be too vulnerable.
Well, okay, but I eat it like in a bowl with yogurt.
Yeah, but you'd have to at some point place it within a yogurt, right?
You just tip it into the bowl. Tip from the punnet into
violently.
the bowl.
No, but it's the small.
You just got to put the violence in somewhere.
Yeah, there has to be violence so that the world knows.
Right, but
that you're
you
not
don't
vulnerable.
care. Like, let's say you eat a bowl of cereal. Like, you don't care about how small a bit of cereal is you're eating because you're eating it as a whole, like as a bowl.
Yeah, but you can eat cereal angrily. You can't really eat yogurt angrily. And yogurt's a whole other dimension, right? But just blueberries.
Do you not like yogurt?
I love yogurt.
Right, okay.
But I'm not telling anyone. I love the absence of calories in a yogurt. But yeah, it's in my head now. Calories. But no, it's that. I know other normal people don't have this feeling of being extremely vulnerable while making a yogurt. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I do. It's just the cards I've been dealt.
Yeah.
I just have to learn how to work with it. And it's just, if I can grab it, you can't grab a fistful of blueberries and still be efficient. Maybe you could, but you couldn't do it with like your...
I've got smaller hands.
How much
than
is like
you.
20 grams, 40 grams of blueberries in your recipe the other day?
It was 50 grams. 50 grams
50
of
grams, which was like an eighth of a punnet or something.
It's about a handful. Like... For me. So, like, yeah. Yeah, a third of a handful for you.
Yeah. It's just, it's too much. It's too dangerous. Why risk it? Have something bigger instead.
Yeah.
Do something better. But yeah, there's a genuine thing about delicateness. I can't appear
nuts?
too delicate.
Do you eat nuts? Handful of nuts?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I eat nuts in like, the kilograms.
Right.
So it's okay.
By the handful.
I double scoop. Like a poor child trying to beg for water.
Popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn, but that's again, you can't have a small bag of popcorn.
No.
A small bag of blueberries.
Well, you can eat all the blueberries. You don't have to like eat
No,
them
but they
one
come
at
in
a time.
such small packages.
It's like a 400-gram punnet.
Yeah, but that's smaller than a VHS tape.
Not in volume.
Not entirely.
I'm trying to work that out. It's been so long
I
since
think
I've
it's
seen a
smaller than
VHS.
VHS tape. Yeah, but the typical standard blueberry. I'd eat a sack of blueberries.
Right.
I could eat a sack.
So it's a size thing.
It's a size. It's a packaging.
Small things make you feel vulnerable.
If you saw someone eating a sack of blueberries, you'd be like,
I'm not going to fuck with that guy.
"Yeah, that guy's deranged.
Yeah.
All the blueberries are going to smush, right? Don't care. Yeah, but they're seeping through the sack. Don't care. Making a statement."
There's this one stupid memory that always sticks with me of sitting opposite this guy on a train. He was wearing a backpack and he just stumbled out of a field from somewhere. He came on and he pulled a box out of it, like a Tupperware box, like a leftover Chinese kind of box. Opened it and there was like strawberries in it. And he was just eating them one at a time, like the whole thing with the fucking leaves on it and everything, like just
Best part.
Whatever, like just throwing them back, and then there was water in the bottom of it. I guess because he'd washed them or something, like pulled them straight out of the field, and like he just like drank all this water from the bottom of this tub, and just the sound and the weird satisfaction on his face stuck with me for like a decade.
There's no reason to alert the world that you're slurping. I agree with that much. If he drank it silently, that guy would be somewhat of a hero.
Why do you need to drink that?
Why waste it? There's good calories in there, or there's good anti-calories. One of them's going to be in there. Yeah. No, that's great. Not wasting any bit of the food, eating all the food. Is that kind of weird primal gorilla demon aspect of eating the banana skin?
Do you do that?
I would like to.
It's difficult.
I've done it a little bit.
No, it's not good.
I think I'd be a better person if I did. Can't
more dietary fibre.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
Yeah.
It'd be much better people eat banana skins than don't, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a vulnerability thing, and it's a weird thing. It, like as much as it's somewhat jokey, I could, if I was dared to eat a blueberry, but there's a genuine discomfort about it that I want to explore, and it's trying to figure. And the reason I'm doing this is because I've been trying to figure out what my beliefs are. And for some reason, no to blueberries is part of my belief system. So I'm trying to figure it out.
In all its forms, though, do you have blueberry jam?
Nope.
No? Blueberry compote?
Don't know what it is. I use normal compost.
The fruit stuff on top of cheesecake.
Oh, yeah. No, not really.
No?
Well, no, yeah. I mean, I like food. I'll taste different food.
Yeah.
But I'm not opening a packet of blueberries in an potentially unsafe environment.
Yeah. No, you need a safe room. Like a panic room to keep your blueberries in.
Combinations. Yeah. As weird as that would make me feel better. I would happily eat blueberries if I had a safe room. Yeah. But it's just, I think what it is, I was thinking about it on the drive here anyway, this is what this whole thing's about. I think I tried to do it with calories, but didn't. But it explains the calorie war.
Yeah.
Right? Is that I think... I started off by saying, yeah, it's. I think it sinks in with a lot of other ethoses about mental health and about direction and about motivation, stuff like that. I need to have a war. I need to be fighting for or against something in order to feel focused in on something. So like we've said before, however much we procrastinate, say there was a project you wanted to do, but you was in the background, right? You're like, yeah, I'll get around to it or something. But then your wife turns to you and says, Steve, I want you to do this. It would be good if you did this. There'd be a weird feeling of more purpose.
Yeah.
You'd be a bit more like, it's no longer just something I'll get around to. It's something that I've got an objective for.
What are you going to ask me to do?
Read this, sponsor. It's a suicide note or something. I don't know. Calories. Every day, terrible things happen to people who consume calories. If you want to donate to the cause, throw boxes of blueberries at Steve. You'll love it. Put it in the yogurt. Charity. Trying to figure out a charity.
Yep.
0900 blueberry. Done one. Wasn't great. I much prefer writing them down.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I need to have a war. There's a whole thing about how people's brains operate, and they need direction. They need they need direction and they need a purpose. Yeah. And for me, it's always been, because of anger and stuff, it's always been, I need a direction to fight, to battle against. And for a long time, I've been avoiding starting a war for numbers of different reasons. Well, I'll sit in peacetime for a little bit. But no, I need a cause, something to fight for, something to go for. So I just realized on the way here, it was like, no, it's just got something that I need to annihilate or destroy or bury. I had a dream last night that there was a cannibal killer on the loose, and I killed someone and buried them in the forest beautifully. Right. You couldn't tell the body was there. But as I left, somebody found a cannibal murderer's victim corpse next to it, buried terribly. Oh. So then they dug up that body, they found my body. Oh. Then Stephen Crowder came round and he was like, so, well, did you do it? Like, yeah, fair play. And then I was like, well, Steve's going to have to do that episode of the podcast without me now, where it's going to be like, well, Nick's in prison for potentially being the cannibal corpse killer.
See, I couldn't do that episode without you. Like that's the kind of event that we've been waiting for. Yeah, well, that's the purpose of this show.
That was the thing. As I was doing it, I was like, yeah, no, it's fair enough. I'd be like, this would be a pretty good story for the podcast.
Through the glass, or
yeah, 2 way, yeah. With the CID.
You could record interviews in prison, can't you?
People made albums in prison.
Yeah,
can make a
sure
podcast.
We could do it over a number of visits.
Hope is not lost. Let's bury those bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to have a battle. I need to have a direction, and that's all that is really. Yeah, it's just direction, purpose, having something to work towards, and it's been trying to figure out what it is, and I've been avoiding it for a while. So I think as I was having that thought on the drive here, and then you were like, "Calories are the good guys," and I was like, "No." I'm fighting that this is war.
This is what I'm dying on.
I know. I've gone through this process. I changed my mind. So it's just trying to get engaged in more stuff like that. So something that's very simple to work with on something like that is like physical fitness. You're working against yourself. You're fighting your laziness. You're fighting your procrastination, all that kind of stuff. Because there's loads of different things that help procrastination that I could probably eradicate. And it's just like, before I was like, no, because I was in a bad place, and sometimes distractions, even potentially negative distractions, are helpful because they're not allowing you to sink into a lower mental health place. But now that I'm kind of in a better place, I'm like, no, now I'm ready for war. Yeah. Well, I can't remember which Rambo it was. I think it's like Rambo 4 or something. Well, probably all the Rambos, right? All the Rambos.
I'm up on the Arnie films. The Schwarzenegger ones fell behind on me. I can remember Rambo, but I cannot discern one from another.
I'm pretty sure the basis of every Rambo film is Sylvester Stallone trying to live in peace, and someone comes along and fucks with him. I've
actually seen the new generation Rambo, I think, more than I have the originals.
All right. They're not like a big film. They're not like Schwarzenegger for me.
Yeah.
But like I've seen them, watched them in school when there was like quiet days and the teacher didn't want to teach the Rambo. Yeah. And it's an hour and a half long film, really. Yeah. The lessons are only an hour. So you just get to a point where you're like,
Did he make it?
Sure. First blood?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need a war, need a direction. And so, you can do that with health and fitness and stuff like that and just cleaning up your life. But there's also an aspect of using that fuel to try and energize other thoughts. But so there's an ongoing war in my mind of trying to keep the demons at bay.
Right.
For whatever reason. I'm not that I'm pretty damaged, but I'm not for like exceptional reasons. It's like there's weird stuff going on that would justify me being more aware of my surroundings, more security conscious, but nothing, absolutely insane. So it's like, I think it just bred from that of being like, well, I need to, being aware of your surroundings. Well, if I'm making my bed here, then I'm vulnerable. I can't defend myself against attack. Yeah, but you won't be attacked in your bedroom, but you might. And it's just that mental practice of trying to make sure you're always able to look after yourself in a physical situation. That was like, if I make my bed, if I've got a weapon, then it's fine. I've got the advantage or whatever. So that van blueberries. Yeah. And just couldn't eat a kiwi. Well, and maybe that's another thing. There's not enough fuel. There's not enough carbohydrates in a blueberry.
No, like you couldn't sustain yourself on like single blueberries and stuff.
Like 40 grams.
There's not a lot in them, to be fair. I think there's only like... Actually, to be fair, there's fuck all in them. I think there's like on a nutritional level for me, it's more about with blueberries. It's more about the flavor and the flavor, the texture, and the trying to get like a varied amount of vitamins in them. I always heard that berries were quite good, and I know that I just didn't eat berries. Really.
Start eating berries. Well, you do eat bananas. Bananas are berries.
Well, because I always ate. I'm the same as you. Like I eat fruit that I can shove in a bag. Like you can't just shove blueberries in a bag on your way to work or something. You have to like package them out and put them in a little box and think about it. So I never ate berries.
I reckon portion size is important as well. Like in terms of my psychological.
Yeah.
You need to be, and as well,
You could eat a punnet of blueberries.
Yeah, but you only if you could be one fistful.
Right.
You couldn't, like, I'd have to leave the rest, and I hate waste.
Right, okay.
If you just grabbed it, then oh no. But there is a thing of portion size as well, because if I was given a small meal, I do feel insulted. No, no, but there's definitely a weird psychological thing of what I am big, so big hands. I'm not that big, it's the thing. But I've got, I'd say I'm larger than average.
Yeah.
By a little bit. But it's just like, if I like I need to give off the atmosphere of I am Thor, whatever, some kind of physical thing. So it's all healthy, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's probably fine. But I need a war, needed something like that. So going to try and take my war to the comedy stage. See how that works out.
Yeah.
I hate you all. Just like, burn everything. But large portions. I could eat a large blueberry, but I couldn't eat a small blueberry.
Size of like a hand fruit.
The same as a kiwi. Like, I couldn't, one single kiwi, because that was the big thing that I disagree with. One, and I think you can freeze an egg. That was the other thing.
Did we look into that?
I haven't, but I believe.
Okay.
I have faith that you could freeze an egg. But the shell might come off. If you want to Google that, then that would be one of the best audience participations in the world. But it's, portion size. Yeah, one kiwi.
Yeah.
One kiwi is nothing in my eyes. It probably is something. There's probably calories in it. But just gonna keep on tapping that well. Keep on digging around it. Oh,
There's a body.
And it's like, Stephen Crowder's coming around. But if the one kiwi just feels like that would be a waste of time. I feel like I would use more energy consuming one kiwi than I would get from a kiwi. That may be probably entirely false. Could be.
I mean, it is.
But it feels like...
Yeah, there's not a lot in it.
Yeah, I'd have to have like a load of kiwis. Then I could justify it. But so putting yourself in a position where you're going to eat a kiwi that's going to be a nutritional deficit potentially, even if it's not, is another time where you're vulnerable with a spoon. Never be vulnerable with a spoon. Steak knife.
Does it make sense to you? Because I spent a while questioning this.
Yeah.
But as far as I can tell from what I've read, it's true. It just doesn't feel right. That you expend more energy from using your brain than you do from using your body.
Yeah.
Like I guess like on the level of like, well, you're running a supercomputer 24/7. Like it kind of makes sense, but I guess it's because there's so much of what we do that's unconscious that you don't notice it as actual work.
Yeah.
That actual expending physical effort feels like, no, this is doing loads, when actually it's not doing anywhere near the amount that your brain does.
Well, I reckon there is the subconscious and loads of other things going on. But then I also justified it by, if I want to lift my arm doesn't lift. I have to use my brain to burn the carbohydrate.
To everything.
Yeah, to do all this
everything goes through.
Yeah, so your brain has to expend the effort of communicating to your arm to lift it. Yeah. And if you need to lift it harder, your brain needs to communicate harder. So I reckon it's, everything your body does, your brain's also doing in communicating. So it kind of made sense to me that way.
Yeah.
In terms of although, does falling burn calories?
Just like from a plane or out of fear, maybe.
Your brain would burn calories, but like your body flapping around, that might burn calories. No, because you're not expending the energy unless you're trying to resist. Resistance. Yeah. The resistance burns calories.
Resistance. Yeah.
But not falling. Yeah. So a little bit more of Nick is that can't eat blueberries. Can't eat anything small. What other small foods are there?
In fruit form or any form?
Any form.
Well, I covered a few nuts and popcorn. And so that's the
nuts are like
basic food pyramid.
I was about to say nuts are natural. Blueberries.
Yeah,
but the blueberries are not to be trusted in the wild, really, are they? You have to know. Same like mushrooms. Where I grew up, there was hedges with berries on them, but some of the berries were murderous or something like that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so it was like you can't really risk it. Hence it being a trap.
Like I know I can identify a fair chunk just because my mum, like I grew up like having a field like as a backyard. So when things grow wild there's like a bunch of different berries, and I'm like, you can't have that, you can't have that, you can't have that. That's
a blueberry, it's a raspberry, that's a hornet's nest. That does not taste good.
That happened once.
Yeah, that's where I got it from. I didn't know you picked it. I thought you fell on it or something. You stepped on it.
I walked past it. That's all.
Hornets went, just took massive blueberries walking past.
Yeah. And there were bees. Like they weren't like just. I like bees. I still like bees, but like, they were just all pissed off.
They were protective, vulnerable. They were making their bed. They didn't have the machetes on them.
No,
I understand.
No.
But there's a weird. It made sense to me in terms of you always need to be at war with something in order to have an objective, in order to have a direction, in order to have a purpose, even if that purpose is overcoming laziness rather than. I think that's another thing as well is when it comes. It's been years since I've bothered seriously about nutrition and stuff like that. But this was back when calories were irrelevant. Just confrontation. I just want to thread out there. But my whole belief, because there's the whole world of health is really weird because anybody can get into it. So you get a lot of information that kind of floods the market, whatever. Yeah. But what my justification came down to is your body will look like how you live. So if you run every day, you'll look like a runner.
Yeah.
Even if you eat loads and you're overweight, you will have the look of a runner because of the muscles that are being used.
Yeah.
So if you eat large portions, you will look like somebody who eats large portions. All that kind of thing. Yeah. I think part of the calorie, not to get into it too much, but I think my desire to look at nutrition rather than calories is if you do an exorbitant amount of exercise, you shouldn't look at trying to refuel those calories first.
I think, to be honest, thinking about it more, I think it's just about from where we started. So like, I think for you, when you started like working out and stuff, you were more in, like the nutrition, analyzing stuff from a nutritional point of view was much more beneficial because you're looking to put on mass and put on muscle and things like that.
To be pedantic about it, I reckon, I agree with you. I think we've started in different ways. I think I was never looking at it to lose weight.
Yeah.
I think I was looking to be healthier. And if you're looking to be healthier, it's obviously more complex and requires more analysis with stuff like vitamins and stuff like that to gain health. Whereas if you're just looking to lose weight and nothing else, that's a good starting point of eat less than you use.
Yeah.
And while I don't recommend that system for everybody, that would be a simple way to look at it if you're not, if you don't want to look at portion size. It's all silliness, obviously.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, I think it is it's just starting from two different places, because by the time I met you, like before you got mad into the gym, like you were tall, but you weren't big, you weren't unhealthy.
Well, I was really into the gym from 16, but I went through different phases of exercise and nutrition and stuff like that. So I went through an unhealthy phase. I don't think
you were as dialed in as you were when you were like in fucking Terminator mode, though.
I think I was, to be fair, but it went through different phases, because I would work out before school, after school, during school,
right,
all that kind of stuff. But I went through different phases. When I started uni, I was very lean, and I was trying to be surfer person, the highlights in my hair and surfing, yeah. And then it was like, I'll try bulking up, and the advice given to me was eat as many calories as you can, and it was like, that's not good. You should eat as much. You shouldn't even eat as much protein as you can. You should eat a certain amount of protein at certain times a day.
Well, there is a thing of like, there is a certain amount that will just go to waste if you try and eat as much protein as you can.
Well, I think the number, at least when I was doing it, you have quick release protein and slow release protein. So quick is like chicken and slow is like egg.
Yeah. And
you can only digest 30 grams of protein at a time. So if you eat 50 grams of chicken, your 20 grams will just won't be
gone.
It could be helpful for bulking up, because if you need a little bit extra and you're able to get it, then hey.
Yeah.
But the basic advice was 30 grams of protein and maybe 30 grams of slow release protein to help with that. So I went through that phase and I bulked up a lot, but it was just overweightness. Similar to how I am now. It's like I'm overweight, but I'm not. There's a strange, maybe what's the term? Rugby-esque figure, like overweight, but it's broad. I'd say broad as well, as opposed to being soft fat. Obviously, there's soft fat, etc. But yeah, I think going through lots of different phases in uni. But yeah, so to conclude the original argument of science, if you want to be more scientific, then you need to, and you want to be more complicated, more complex, and more healthy, you need to look at nutrition. If you want to look at losing weight, then you should look at calories. You can maybe look at, I would simplify it more to make it simpler, as portion size.
Yeah.
But as you say, it's kind of intertwined, but it's just simpler to be like, I mean, at uni, I was like, when I was trying to lose weight, it was like, I don't need to actually eat a whole pizza.
Yeah.
Because I'd eat pizza from home. So I would have started cutting them in half and freezing them in halves and being like, if I eat half a pizza, I'm pretty full. That's fine. I can move on. So yeah. Blueberries. But need that fuel because I'm going to war, and if I'm doing a small portion of something, I'll just be like, this isn't enough sustenance for me to go to war.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to poison me or something.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to war.
Great. Going to war with yourself. Did you I went back to the pool this week for the first time and
kicked in the face.
No, because there were like 5 of us in there. It was great.
Yeah.
He's
Do you
great.
wear goggles in the pool?
I didn't this time. I've lost a pair. Like I'm not asked about like getting my eyes wet and all of that stuff. I know people for some reason get pretty squeamish about it, but my eyes just fucking hate chlorine, which I guess is a natural thing. But like
My eyes hate bleach.
if I don't wear goggles, I come out and I look stoned. Like
Yeah.
it's just they flare up really bad. Within half an hour, it's gone.
I always wear goggles just because it makes sense.
I've got some now.
I feel like people look at me wrong. There's a weird thing of like if you're wearing goggles, you're looking at people's bodies under the water. It's
Well,
like,
plus
I'm not doing that.
I like to be able to see underwater.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's quite cool.
But so when you, obviously it was somewhat jokey about getting kicked in the face, but
Yeah.
I know that feeling of getting kicked in the face.
Yeah.
But when you're swimming with goggles on, is it just that you weren't able to find a lane that was your speed?
No,
Because it was too busy.
So most of this, sort of. So I think the ones that we use, they got like they put a rope down the middle, and there's like a slow half and a quick half.
Yeah.
But pretty much all I swim is breaststroke.
Yeah.
And everyone, you get loads of people in the slow lane who kind of underestimate how fast they actually are. And they would end up doing backstroke and first hitting me on the feet because they're not looking where they're going. And then they're like, oh, there's someone there. So they'd just kind of like go out and start going past me. And as they're going past me, they kick me in the face.
So people overtaking you was kicking you in the face, not you.
Yeah.
speeding
But
up.
it's like, well, I'm in the slowest lane.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a particularly strong swimmer. I've never had any trouble or anything like that, and I don't get like worn out really quick. It's just I'm not a very fast swimmer.
I think backstroke is an arrogant swim stroke to do in public.
It's all fucking old people doing that. I don't know why.
I like backstroke. I was really good at backstroke for some reason. That was my stroke when I was a kid. But yeah, doing it in public is just like, it's not practical, so don't do it.
Yeah.
Do it when it's quiet and you know the lane's empty. That sounds fair.
Yeah.
Do it on a private thing. That sounds
Front
fair.
crawl and breaststroke.
Yeah. Butterfly is like a weird grey area because it's like if you can do it well, then maybe that's fine. But it's also very disruptive.
Yeah.
So just don't do that. Anyway, this is starting to step into gym talk. There's
Gym
something
talk.
Oh, you're not going to talk about the gym, are you? I don't like it when we talk about the gym.
Well played. Well played. Yeah. It's extra well played because you didn't play it earlier. Because I was like, that's not technically gym talk. Yeah. All right. Well, I got to recover from that. Don't want to talk about the gym. Well, I had to cut some stuff out like last week.
Oh, yeah?
Because the gym talk was just a bit too gym talk. I mean, there's one point where it was like, I was, not to belittle your story.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was in the gym and a guy came over and he lifted more weight than I was lifting. And he was lifting it in his shoulders and I was lifting it in my legs. And it's like, conversationally, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But podcast-wise, I was like, huh. Like, fair point.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to shorten stuff as well. I don't know why. I think ages ago we tried to set it to like about an hour.
Yeah.
But it just feels natural. We seem to always naturally end at around an hour and a half. And then it was like, oh, we're going to cut it up so we've got extra highlights, which we do have a little bit, extra backup footage, which we do a little bit. But
So now
it comes
all
up
of
to
the
it.
extra backup footage is going to be
Gym
leftover
talk.
gym talk.
But yeah, also I'm trying to just I've got articles, but it feels more like I'll jump into the articles at some point. And but I think this argument's been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, been an interesting thing. But yeah, it's so yeah, I'm generally looking at there's the whole thing. I'm still working out in my head, but there's a whole thing about a war needing a purpose, needing to do something. When I was a kid, it was needing to work out to overcome, because it's very therapeutic, the gym anyway. And I managed to recognize that resisting temptation and enforcing discipline was very much beneficial to me. That was my reward for it. Like I used to work in a bakery and they used to throw out all the baked goods at the end of the day. They gave them to homeless people, but they didn't. So they just threw them away. So the staff would just take it.
Yeah.
So the staff just took it, and I found it very therapeutic to have something in the fridge that I was detoxed from completely, but was like, if I say no to this, then I get an endorphin rush.
Yeah.
And then I'm in control and I'm feeling disciplined. My mum hated it because my mum ended up eating loads of cake. But
the thing is, I 100% agree with you. It feels like you're kind of, every time you open the fridge and don't do it, like there's a little win there.
yeah.
But I also have a thing where it's just like, I don't like to tempt myself like that because I don't trust myself not to be weak.
Right.
Particularly when I'm hungry and stuff. So I'll just be like, it's much easier if I just don't have any crap in the house.
Oh, and the more the desire, the more and I resist, the higher the endorphin rush.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. But then I'd have the same, because I'd have it with takeaways when I was very young and doing all this gym stuff, like 16. If like I was craving to order a takeaway and then I didn't, I'd feel good, and I'd feel good. I wouldn't see anything different in the mirror, but I'd feel good.
Yeah.
If I did take a takeaway, I'd look better in the mirror, but I wouldn't have the endorphin rush.
Yeah.
There's a weird, I don't know what that endorphin is or what that perception is. I think it's I think maybe it's an attempt at regret. It's like, look, you would look better than you look now.
Yeah.
You still look good because you're Nick.
There is a
16-year-old trying to get an ego. Smash it.
There is a big there is a big difference in your perception of yourself from one day to the next. Like, and it is, I think it is just dependent on your mood and just a bunch of other things. Even if you look exactly the same, like you will just feel different.
Depending on what you ate as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to feed that into, I've got an old thing I've been trying to work into something I spoke to a while ago about a certain age probably just before puberty, suddenly your hormones activate and you are just attracted to whatever you're around. I think that's how it works. Well, there's a bit more subtlety to that. So I remember having it happen to me because I was play wrestling with this girl from school. Never really knew her. Didn't really do anything. But like first time she was having like a family round and you invite me round. We were playing around and then I found myself looking back on it, hormones activating. This is kind of the structure of someone that I'm attracted to. Yeah. So they were quite what's the tomboyish. So not like damsel in distress. This is what I'm attracted to. It's really strange. And obviously wrestling with a girl at whatever age I was, probably started hormone releases, which then activated the hormones or whatever. But I also, because it's a chemical thing, I reckon it's also based on what you eat. And the funny side is, I reckon there's some people who are walking down the street and then suddenly their hormones activate and now they're attracted to trees. or they're watching a dog fuck and they're like, oh God. Now
this is my life.
And there's nothing you can do about it because it's your genetic desire to be attracted to whatever's in your. That's what I think anyway. Is how you fit. Because if you were born not being attracted to something within 2,000 miles of you, your bloodline's going to die. So yeah, I imagine if you have a sandwich, then maybe that'll release some testosterone.
Yeah,
and then later if you didn't have that sandwich, you wouldn't be attracted to dogs, whatever it is. But yeah, so there's a chemical thing going on as well, I think. And I think that's released when you're at war. And the other thing, I don't have a cause. So I'm just at war I'm a mercenary. Yeah. Basically at war from day to day.
Yeah. They're just fighting. What are they fighting about? They're just fighting.
Blueberries.
They show up in the field every day and then they have a fight and then they go home.
One's wielding calories, the other one's holding B12. The B stands for blueberry. No, it's humbleness. Because one of the other reasons that I haven't had a war is because there's nothing that I necessarily believe to be worth fighting for in my life at the moment. Some people have politics. Some people have social justice, or whatever cause, whatever flag someone can wave. People drag themselves onto that. But at a young age, I decided that I wasn't going to believe anything to be an absolute truth unless I've verified it personally. Right. So that basically meant that causes and protests and stuff like that, unless I've experienced them personally, in terms of analysed it, read it, in terms of seen it, etc. I feel the same way. It just took me a lot longer to come around to that. Well, I did a philosophy degree with a lot of people who were I was getting the Facebook PC culture in my philosophy classes. Right. So I think that's had those discussions like, against the Iraq war. It's like, well, I guess if you think about it, we don't know if there's an Iraq war, right? I mean, you don't trust the media, and the media is the person who's showing you the Iraq war. Yeah. So do you trust the media enough to trust that there's an Iraq war? Stupid arguments like that. But it was just like, oh no, yeah, I'll believe that for society's sake. But personally, I'm just going to believe in whatever I believe. So if I had friends and family, I'd fight a war for my dog, obviously. Yeah. Who wouldn't? Dog fact. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a humbleness, I think, of not wanting to go to war with, like the Punisher. No. Did you like the Punisher?
I'm not really caught up with the lore, to be honest.
Did you watch the original? Not the original film.
You
the original film.
showed me one of the films.
Yeah, the main John Travolta film. I think is the one I showed you. Travolta was like the bad guy. But yeah, the series came out with the guy from The Walking Dead, who's in lots of stuff.
Yeah, no, not watched that.
It was okay, but it wasn't great. Daredevil was really good. I'm still upset that they cancelled it. So not upset, but it's like it was good.
Yeah.
You're only going to make it worse, right? Just keep this. This is good.
Yeah.
But Iron Fist, terrible. Anyway.
I like the first season.
Yeah, the first season's good. And I'm rewatching it.
I didn't even finish the second season. Like, this is
bad.
garbage.
So bad. But anyway. Yeah, so instead of... I know that if I dedicate myself to a war, I can be somewhat productive. So I don't want to dedicate myself to a war that I don't fully believe in or fully believe. So yeah, I'll stick with laziness for now and see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, war. War and gym talk. Anyway, how long are we? Just out of curiosity.
Just over an hour.
Oh, Matt.